Peace, fam. Welcome in. Um, just came back from the gym. We're getting deep. We're talking about how the people that backstabbed you and thought they could easily betray you for an opportunity, or because they wanted to keep you out of an opportunity. They're in deep regret right now. They're in a lot of shame. I can't tell y'all how many people that they thought they was slick, they thought they was smooth, thought they could just easily you know betray me or backstab me and get an opportunity that should have been for me. And after it doesn't work out, they look bad, they feel bad, and when other people start to find out about it, they grow a deep shame. For some of y'all that were betrayed, let's say you was cheated on in a relationship, right? In a moment in time, the person that betrays you, they feel so powerful, they feel super intelligent, right? Because they like, yeah, I got him. And they don't know what I did. They think they're so smart because they think they was able to pull something off that you didn't see coming, and not only that you didn't see coming, that you don't even know how to respond to. So when somebody betray you, they think they so slick and bad, and they felt like almost. You ever watch those movies? There's a lot of dope movies where they do a heist, like a group of guys come together. They got a plan. They gonna rob the bank, and then they go underground, and then they got a truck waiting, and then there's a helicopter over there, and then they got these routes. They feel so bad because they feel like they got this master plan that nobody ever be able to figure out. And so as they're going through it, they're like, yeah, we got them. It's a sense of power because they feel like no matter what, nobody's gonna never find out. Nobody ever gonna figure out how they did it. So they, what I'm saying, they feel real slick and bad. You understand me? They feel real slick and bad, like damn, nobody gonna figure this shit out, right? Nah, man. um they don't know, a lot of people don't know how intelligent you are, and they don't realize until it's too late that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. That person that betrayed you in a relationship, a lot of times they could underestimate your value, and so when they betray you and you just go about your business and live your life, you get so many great things that happen to you. You grow, you build a business, you get another great job in your career, you shine, you start to improve your health, you start to really focus on you. And a lot of times that's what the pain of betrayal does. Sometimes the betrayal will make you question yourself to be like, man, what's wrong with me, or what's lacking in me that this person just outright left me like that. Oh, okay, they thought I wasn't valuable, they thought I wasn't shit, or they didn't see my value. um and that's what backfired. They never expected for them betraying you to force you to turn on yourself and love yourself. They thought it was going to make you turn on yourself and hate yourself. They thought it was going to make you walk around in this shame and woe is me. Oh my God, they left me. Boo hoo, boo hoo. Crying and whining all the time, walking around feeling sorry for yourself. That's the energy they thought you was going to be in. But for y'all watching, the betrayal made you tougher, and it made you get to a point to where you're like, yo, I'm gonna make sure that never happens again. So it's not just about increasing your value; it's about increasing your awareness. Some of y'all let y'all guard down with these people, and that's why it was so easy for them to betray you. Not because you're stupid, but because you let your guard down. You trusted too much, um, and they took advantage of that. So some of the people that betray you, a lot of times, they might be a narcissistic type of person. They want to earn your trust. They want to get on the inside. They want to know the deepest, darkest secrets about you that you never share with anybody else. Not because they care about that information, but because they could know how you move, how you think, so that it'll be easier to manipulate you on a psychological level. It's very It's very insidious. It's very insidious. Very, just wicked, right? But it made you turn on yourself and love yourself instead of walk around feeling like, I'm nothing without them. You understand me? I'm nothing, and they left me. Oh man, I make myself crack up sometimes, yo. Um, yeah, but it made you love yourself, and the thing is, attached with the betrayal can be like a smear campaign because a lot of times when somebody do you dirty, but at the same time, whether it's a friendship or whether it's a romantic relationship, family, whatever, right? Work. What happens is when there's people that know the both of you guys, that know both parties, they'll go on a smear campaign to convince everyone that it was justified with what they did. You know what I'm saying? They have to make it make sense because if y'all no longer together, but a lot of people know about you guys, they're like, well, wait, hold on. Why aren't you walking around with such and such? Why aren't you talking to this person? Why aren't you hanging out with this person? Where's, what I mean? They're gonna look at you or that person like, yo, what happened? Why are you not with that person? So they gotta craft a story that makes sense that ultimately um ultimately makes you look like the super villain to justify why they left and why they moved on. And but it's a story that they craft, and the story is supposed to bury you deeper into um negativity because first they left and then now everybody walk around looking at you like you crazy because of what they saying. um but that's why consistency, if you want to know how to overcome like the smear campaign or even betrayal, it's consistency. I can't tell you how many people came back after there was a smear campaign done against me or betrayal, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. We heard what happened. Oh my God!" Or when people see what heads go down, because for a long time they're like, "Damn, I can't believe we went around actually believing that stuff, and none of it was true, and we was really joining and going against this person." Um, but a lot of you have leveled up after your betrayal, after you've been betrayed and leveled up. And a lot of times, the person that betrayed you and left you realize the grass isn't greener on the other side. Now they want to come back and deal with you. Now they want to be friends again. Yo, man, let's hang out, man. Hang out after you done betrayed me and then talking about me, try to ruin my name. Yo, fellas, the girl that betrayed you, you probably was talking to some girl. Y'all talking. I'm gonna walk down this alley. It looks scary. Like I know these little alleys, but it's the sun is out, so I ain't tripping. It's a shortcut. Don't worry about me. But a lot of times when you're talking to a girl, and sometimes these women be like weighing their options. Should I talk to him? And then they looking over there. A lot of times these girls be on some like hoish activity. So it's kind of like they always got their options open because they always looking and looking instead of being focused on their man. But a girl that you probably was talking to, um, she thought somebody looked better or had more status or whatever the case is. After betraying you, she'll want to come back. A lot of people, they misjudge you and they didn't realize your value until it's too late. And that sometimes God did that on purpose. So when you get betrayed, when you get abandoned or left, uh, maybe abandoned by your family, like I said, romantic relationship, friends. You might have been almost best friends with a group of people, and they outright betray you because they thought it was there was better opportunities out there. A lot of times, God hides your value, And so when you really start to get into your career and you start to blossom and make money and shine, and a lot of your talents and abilities get exposed, people, their response is like, oh my God, oh shit, damn. Right? Now they get like, oh my God, I wish we saw this in this person before. A lot of people, they wish they saw this version of you that you are now. They wish they saw this version of you before because they would have never left you. They would have stayed so they could benefit off you. But that was also God's plan. God wanted you to look like he was nothing. He wanted you to look like you was a nobody. He wanted you to sometimes look like you didn't have any value, so that these people that are so damn superficial and arrogant, and they walking around thinking they this and they that, and so they can only hang around people with a certain status and thinking they hot shit. God wanted these people to think of you as nothing because they didn't have good intentions towards you anyways. If these people would have saw you for who you really were and how great you really are, how amazing you really are, how gifted and how talented you really are, they would have just used you up. Used you up. Yeah, they would have just used you up because that was their only intention. They never intended to have a genuine relationship with you. Um, their only intention was to be in a relationship with you, use you for what you have, and then move on. But if they would have got away with that, they would have drained you. They would have drained your resources. They would have drained what I'm saying, your energy, your talents, your gifts, and you would have wasted a lot of time, and it would have been worse. It's better that they betrayed you now instead of being with you and to soak up everything you got and then leaving afterwards. So it would have been worse that way. Uh, God don't want you to be around these weak, fragile people. They wishy-washy, and see, look, they in and out of your life. One minute they don't want to do nothing to do with you. Next minute they see a value. They want to be the best of friends. All of a sudden they love you. All of a sudden you so fine because they see everybody else like you. It's betrayal. And these people aren't worth anything. They're very fragile, and they actually don't make it very far in life because they're not solid. They're not solid, and their evil doings eventually catch up to them. But that's really none of your business what happens to them, and they like, hey, ain't none of your business. But yeah, man, the betrayal backfires because it makes you stronger because you make sure to become the type of person and make sure that never happens again. Um, and so you get stronger, you get wiser, you start to live in your truth, and then the lies about you get exposed. Because everybody see like, damn, this isn't true, right? And then people regret betraying you because they realize there was never a better option. You were the better option the whole time. It was always you. A lot of times when you're in a relationship where you're talking to somebody, the person that you're talking to, they got their eyes, they looking around because they're trying to look for this special type of person, you know. In a school, in an environment, at the workplace, there's always like the one, right? The super talented one, the superior one. You know, that one person that they feel like is it, and that's gonna make it and blow up in life and make it far. A lot of people right now, they realize it was you. It was you the whole time. They had you in the palm of their hands, but they blew it because you didn't really look like the part at the time. Maybe you was at a low point. Maybe you didn't even discover your gifts. You didn't discover yourself. You didn't really have the confidence you have now. You didn't believe in yourself. But it was all part of God's plan. And notice how you discovered who you really are. Notice how you really became the best version of yourself, and you found your gifts, you found your talents, you found the confidence. You look better ever since they left. Like ever since when they betrayed you is when you blew up. Isn't that funny? Sirens. Isn't that funny? It's when they betrayed you, when they betrayed your ass and left you. That's when you blossom, because that's how God wanted it. That's why nothing was happening when you was around these people, yo. That's why you wasn't getting nowhere when you was around them. You didn't feel good about yourself. You wasn't glowing. You understand me? You wasn't shining. Your talents didn't blossom and develop until they left. Coincidence? Nah, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that was deliberate and intentional, and I think that was divine timing. Because, again, if you would have became who you truly capable of becoming, um, if you would have became who you truly were capable of becoming, based off of your potential, they would have just used that. They would have used you up. They would have drained you, and you wouldn't have gotten as far as you are today. You wouldn't develop the relationships, the connections. You wouldn't have did the work. Like, a lot of y'all been doing a lot of great work in y'all field. You've been blowing up. So it's like you wouldn't have made it this far. Sometimes you gotta thank God that that type of thing happens, because if they'd have stayed in your life, they probably would have ruined you. They would have took so many things away from you, took opportunities. They would have took you down through there. They would have took you down and compromised your journey. All right. So you win in the end, man. You win in the end. Sometimes you're like, damn, why was I treated like that? You were never. You can't let how other people see you dictate your value. People have their own interpretations. A lot of times, people look at you and view you through broken lenses. Meaning, how can somebody see value in you if they don't see value in themselves? How can you expect somebody to think that you're beautiful if on the inside they see nothing but ugly? How can somebody, see you as this like bright and shiny thing if they're in darkness about their own value and their own potential, right? So sometimes I know it might feel kind of personal, but it's not. People treat you. We project, right? We project. People treat you ultimately based off of how they feel about themselves, how they see themselves. So if somebody think you ain't shit, they don't really have any belief in themselves. And oftentimes, this is who these people are. They're very superficial. They're not deep. They haven't done any work. They don't even know who they are. So how you gonna let somebody? How you gonna let a person who isn't really tapped in and deep in touch with who they are to properly judge you and to see your value? Um, be thankful. You deserve way more, yo. I want to say that right now. A lot of y'all deserve way better than how you was treated in some of these relationships, and that's why God wanted to let them go, because you deserve so much better. You deserve love. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve for when you come home, it's almost like a fucking party every time you come home. You deserve, you know, people to really be there for you when you aren't as hot, when things go get a little down. You deserve loyalty, right? And there's people out there that's gonna give you that. And a lot of y'all finding them now. You're in organizations, you're building relationships, you're networking with people that want to see you do better, that want to see you empower. When they see you down, they're gonna kick you right back up. They're gonna boost you up back up because you gave that energy to these people. And a lot of times, you can be betrayed by the very people who you used to like want to elevate. You elevated them. You made these people feel better about themselves. You empowered them, but in return, they betrayed you because they ain't give a damn about none of that shit. They want to know what you had, how you looking, how's your social media, how other people feel about you. Everything was superficial about these people. Everything was superficial. You actually cared about them and you wanted the best for them, but they were just looking at what you had and who you were and how you dressed and all the external superficial stuff, right? So you don't even need that. Them people are weak, man. They surface level and they weak. You want real people that's there for you. You're finding them now. You're in better hands now, man. So it was all a part of God's plan, and your life is 10 times better because they left. It's not a happenstance. It's not a It's not by accident. It's not random. It is not random, folks. The reason why your life got so much better is because they're no longer there. All right. So hit the like button, hype this video up, join the family, man. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna keep building. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you tap in. Fitness program coming for you guys very soon. Peace.